So as I've gone along my medfluencer, doctor creator journey, I've seen a lot of other doctor creators on my TikTok feed and Instagram feed. And some of them I've been following for years and others are more new. And there's some that I've been following for a couple years. And I've seen that while my accounts have grown and flourished, theirs have kind of stayed stagnant. There's just one creator I'm thinking of, and her followers have been kind of like 1,000, 3,000 ish for the last 3 years. And there's been other creators like that I've seen as well. And so as I've gone about my journey, I've come to understand more about how to do it, how to grow. And so I realized like why these creators are not growing. The biggest reason is because their content is about themselves. When I made content, when I started out, I knew that I wanted to help patients. That was my goal with this. And so I made a lot of content explaining different medications and diagnoses and just psychiatric life and like ER psychiatry stuff, just stuff that I found like I thought patients would find valuable. And so that was valuable because there's a mental health shortage and a lot of people don't have access to this information or don't get this information from a source that you can trust, right? This is pre-AI, pre-ChatGPT days. But even now, excuse me, right? It's you trust a human, like a professional, differently than you would just an AI spitting out facts. But the thing is that I had the target audience, right? I'm like, I want to help patients. And so that's why it grew. Now I've shifted my content strategy to where I'm helping nurse practitioners because I'm teaching. In this channel, I'm helping the next generation of doctor creators, medfluencers, helping them grow on social media. And so I'm very clear with my intention. And so this content will the wrong audiences will kind of get filtered out, and the right audiences, like the people I want to attract to my content, are going to show up for that. And because the algorithms will literally give them the content that it's determined is good for them. But a lot of these creators, they make it all about themselves. I see so many of these get ready in my day of my life. And, oh, yeah, I'm going to the third year. Oh, I had this coffee. Here's my outfit of the day. Oh, here's what I'm wearing to dinner. And this is a night out with my boyfriend or girlfriend, shit like that. And those are the accounts that I see that are always stuck in 1,000, 3,000 followers. They might get a thousand views and each day they get a couple, but they don't really get that viral type of hit, or they don't really get a influx of people coming in. And it's because the content is all about themselves. Think about it from a viewer's perspective, just from your own perspective when you're scrolling content. Every piece of content that we get, it has to have some value to us. Content can be broken down into three different categories. So there's educational, inspirational, and entertaining. So for me, I'm not that entertaining. I am not funny. I've seen these medical comedy creators out there, right? They mog me in that category. So I can't compete in that realm. Inspirational, somewhat I'm getting there, right? For example, I just got this free La Roche-Posay skincare delivery, right? I'm a psychiatrist. But I got this skincare delivery, right? Because I'm a medical content creator. I'm going to be moving to Miami literally the next week of me recording this, right? Financial freedom. I can work wherever, work from whenever. I can go whenever to the gym I want to. So time freedom, financial, all of that, right? So that's inspirational. But that's something that's coming recently into my content. That hasn't been there for a while. And especially when I started as a resident, I'm not inspiring shit. So I was like, okay, the least the one thing that I can do is spit game. I can be educational. And so that's where I knew my strength was. And so that's why I was educating, right? You can watch Alex Earl do whatever her day in the life is, or Kim Kardashian, or even Jeff Bezos, if he did a morning routine. This is my morning routine. That kind of content works once the person has been established. And so they have that credibility. So we trust them. But when they don't have that, it doesn't really, people don't want to follow that, right? So I think about Alex Hormozi, big time business influencer. So now he can share content like, oh yeah, I do this in my business and it helps, or this is my morning routine, this is my gym routine. And people are like, oh yeah, that's the Hormozi way. Let me model that. But I remember back when he was starting, he was just pumping out a lot of shorts, right? And so it was all just educational content because he had to build up that brand, that audience to where people trusted him and then they wanted to watch him for him. There's another creator I've started watching on YouTube. His name is Penguin Z0. So this dude pretty much just comes on stream and he talks about his opinion on movies and video games. He'll be like, "Oh yeah, I played this game and it was great," or "I watched the One Piece live action and it was really good," or "Check out this news. What is going on? Why is this person doing this?" Stuff like that. So very basic, easy content. But he has 18 million followers. And so the reason that he can make kind of content like that is because people now, because he's built that audience, they trust him and they want his opinion. They want to hear his review on that game, or they want to hear his like review thoughts on that movie, right? They if they get news, they want that source to come from him because they trust him and not other randos. So the point being though is that I see a lot of these medical creators, they make their content all about themselves and not about the value that the other person's going to get. And so people, there's so many lifestyle influencers and vloggers, right? There's nothing unique and special about you, just like there's nothing unique and special about me, but I can help people. And that's the key is like, how can, that's the shift I encourage medical content creators, medfluencers to make is that think about instead of what you want to post, because a lot of them I've seen, a lot of us, we just post as if like we're celebrities already, which I get to some extent because it's okay, you want to fake it till you make it and you have to act as if and then you become. So I do agree with that concept, but you also have to prove yourself too, right? There's one example, like, unrelated, I'll never forget. When I was a intern, I was on the internal medicine service and I'm a psychiatry resident, right? And I didn't really want to be there in internal medicine, especially with the long hours. And I'm someone who needs a lot of sleep. I need my gym time. I need my relaxation, and so I just really didn't enjoy it. And so I started getting more of a burnt out, bitter type of attitude. And I remember a couple of days before the end of it, I had said something like, "I'm just gonna get through this, right? I'm just gonna put on a face and get through this," something like that. And so my senior, my chief resident had, at the end of the day, he said, "Let me talk to you." So I'm talking to him and he goes, "So I think you got to work on your attitude." And so I see that you said that. And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I'm just feeling burnt out. I got to, you're right. I got to fix it. I got to be more of a team player." But what I didn't say was the reason that I'd said that was because I'd heard him say the exact same thing. Literally that same day at lunch, there was a lunch conference, and because we're all sitting there, and I heard him say it to his co-resident because he was a third year, probably going to graduate in 2 months, and he was like, "I just need to get through this. I just got to get through this." And I was like, "I mother effer, I literally heard you say the same thing, but I was an intern, he was a chief resident, so I'm lower in the position of power, and so I couldn't say anything." And so I didn't. I just shut up, got through my life, and then moved on. The point being is that I hadn't proven myself yet. So he had proven himself. He had gotten to chief resident, so he could do and say stuff that I couldn't. Just like we've all seen attendings who may be rude in the OR or rude to staff or maybe lazy or disrespectful or maybe practice medicine in a shitty way, whatever it is, they can do that because they have reached attending status. They've proven themselves, quote unquote. Whereas we as a med student, we could obviously not behave in the way that we see some toxic attendings behave. So my point is that it applies to content creation, right? People want to follow us for us and what outfit I'm wearing and things once we've proven ourselves and we've established an audience. But until we've done that, then our content can't be about us. It has to be about other people and what kind of value we can bring other people and how can we help. And now, granted, see, so that's when it gets from the educational to the inspirational. Because let's say if Kim Kardashian, right, she'll be like, "Oh yeah, look at my outfit at this gala," right? That's now reached inspirational territory because people aspire to be her. Or Alex Earl, right? People aspire to be her, or Jeff Bezos, or whatever content creator you think of. So that's why these people can be like, "Okay, this is my outfit. This is the watch I'm wearing. This is the makeup I'm doing. Get ready with me. Follow me along my dinner date," because people already aspire to be that person. So therefore they already get value from watching them. But nobody wants to watch some rando go to dinner, even if they go to the same spot. So that's the point I want to stress. This is the most common thing I see. And yeah, shift your focus from content that is showing you off. Because I think a lot of the content I see comes from a more of a narcissistic flavor. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's just more that it's about ourselves. rather than it being about the other person. What value is this bringing to the other person? And so another thing is that what value is this bringing to the ideal viewer? This is also a very key point. So let's say if I told some random medical creator, oh yeah, you start posting content and you can get 1 million followers, right? Sweet, amazing. But what if that content is you punching a grandma? You might get that video could go viral. Oh yeah, doctor in white coat punches grandma. That would go viral. That would easily draw tons and tons of followers. But those aren't the followers that we want. So, like similarly, you have to really think about what kind of followers do you want. So, for example, let's say imagine you're a female med student and you post content about like your journey through med school. So, therefore, if you have in your head that, hey, I want to inspire pre-meds to who are in my journey, I want to inspire the younger medical students, and I also want to connect with other female medical content creators because we're all in this together and it's lonely and we want to connect. Okay, that's good. Now we have some kind of target audience, right? But if you just want indiscriminately and you start posting, I don't know, hot, sexy outfits all the time, then you might attract thirsty guys. And yeah, your follower count might look bigger, but you're attracting an audience that you don't really want, right? Unless you're an OF creator, right? But that's a different story, right? Because they might be posting, those creators might post similar content, but that's because they want that audience. Whereas for us, that's probably not the audience that we want. Or similarly, if you are like a guy, you're just posting shirtless selfies and look at me, I'm jacked, but I can also be in med school, whatever. That might be inspiring to some of the bros, right? Which like bros in med school or thing. And that could be, right? Like how you balance everything. But it's still coming from a place of let me show myself off. And it has to come from a place of, okay, what value is this bringing to other people? Because let's say you're like the shirtless bro and you're posting stuff, you might just get a whole bunch of bros in your audience who are not in the medical pipeline and are just commenting random things that don't really help you or are not part of your target audience, right? Because let's say if you want to get med students or if you want to get patient audience, whoever you want to inspire, those kind of random bros may not be part of what you're looking for. So basically the whole meta point is focus very clearly on who you want to help and what type of value you want to bring to them. And if you do that, you will be a successful medical content creator. So yeah, I hope that's helpful. If you want to learn more from me, definitely check out our free doctor educational community. It's where I teach the next generation of medical content creators, medfluencers, how to get the first 10K followers. So definitely check that out completely for free. And I'll see you in the next video.